Hey there, welcome once again to the Soul Lounge. I am the Lady DJ, Shawna Renee, and we are here once again inside the Voice of America Auditorium in Washington, D.C., with a group that has educated, entertained, and empowered audiences all over the world for 40 years. You, my friends, are in for a treat. Welcome, Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Somebody prayed for me. They had me on their mind. They took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed. Yes, I'm glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me. Oh, pray for me. Pray for me. Had me on their mind. On their mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad they prayed. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad they prayed for me. My mother, you know, she prayed for me. Prayed for me. Had me on her mind. On her mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad she prayed. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad she prayed for me. My sister, you know, she prayed for me. Yes, she did. Had me on her mind. On her mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad she prayed. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad she prayed for me. My mother, you know, she prayed for me every day. Had me on her mind. On her mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad she prayed. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad she prayed for me. My father, you know, prayed for me. He prayed. He had me on his mind. On his mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad he prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad he prayed. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad he prayed for me. My people, you know, they prayed for me. Oh, had me on their mind. On their mind. Took the time to pray for me. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad they prayed. I'm glad. I'm so glad they prayed for me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Hey,
Welcome to the Soul Lounge. It's
Oh,
such a
thank
pleasure
you.
to have you here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new album. Now, I think I have to do it like this. Hashtag
Uh-huh.
Love and Evolution. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
So it's dropped January the 22nd. Now, am I correct? This is your 24th album? Is it 20? Has it been that many?
Is it
24?
24th
I think it's
album?
24.
Okay.
Okay, but the first one in quite some time, though, in about 9 years.
That's not actually true.
Really? Okay.
It's the first studio recording.
Studio recording.
We actually had live at Lincoln Center.
Right,
Jazz at
okay,
Lincoln Center,
okay.
just a couple
all
of
right.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you determine then when it's time to go into the studio and actually release a studio recording? Like, is it just when inspiration hits you, or
Money
the
gets
label?
in the account.
Money gets in the account.
Appreciate your honesty.
Well, there used to be a pattern when
You used to record like every year and a half?
Every 2 years or every year and a half, something was released.
Okay.
And I'd say probably in the last 10 years, it just kind of, you know, we were just in transition.
Okay.
You know, there were a lot of things going on with the group, and you know, Bernice Johnson Regan retired, and we were just, you know, working it out and figuring out where we were going to go. But we did have 2007. We had our Grammy-nominated children's recording.
That's right.
Experience 101, produced by Nitanju, Bolade, Casel. And then after that, right after that, was our Going Grace, which was the soundtrack for our Alvin Ailey collaboration that we did with them in 2008-9. And then 11, we recorded, like she said, Jazz at Lincoln Center, a tribute. That was released in 12, right? And here we are.
And here we are. Now, you mentioned that the group was kind of going through some changes, and over the course of 40 years, and congratulations on that, by the way. That is such an accomplishment to have been in the business, in existence, and doing this powerful work for so long. But in the course of those years, there have been quite a few combinations. And I've seen maybe 3 combinations, I think, in the time that I've known about you. And I've always wondered, it always seems so seamless. Like, it always seems like whoever's with you is supposed to be there or has always been there. And I'm thinking, how do you choose who comes along? Do you use auditions, or is there a feeling or something else that helps you determine who fits?
Yes, we do hold auditions.
Okay.
We held auditions when Bernice Johnson Regan retired from the group. Large auditions. I think they went on for like, what, a week or 2 weeks?
No, 3 days.
3 days.
Oh, that was all 3 days?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just long days.
Yeah.
It was just not long, bad days, but just a lot of singing, a lot of people.
Right.
And then when Isa retired from the group, we had auditions again.
Okay.
And a large group of sisters came to audition. It was
Yeah.
And
really
the 2
nice.
auditions that I've experienced, you don't go in one at a time. The whole group of people sing together the whole time.
Wow.
You're in the room, so that's probably part of the seamlessness, or
Yeah, the
the
synergy.
energy, the synergy, how
Yeah.
people, you know, who comes in late, who, you know.
Who sings too
but
loud.
but it's yes, it's a
It's all
total
of that.
experience. So you get to watch everything at one time, not
interaction
just
of
the singers, just the
singers.
people, that
Right.
are coming together.
Everybody brings something different, and it's not where we were back in 1973. It's not where the group was in 1980. It's just constantly moving and changing, expanding. So we always want energies that's going to help us grow, because
And the
we're
group makes it a point, I think, to embrace a new person.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
you can
if
tell
somebody
that.
comes in, it's understood this is going to be a new configuration, a new sound. This is going to be a new sound. Let's find that sound.
Right. Speaking of new sounds, this new album has something that surprised me, and instrumentation. You have a bass player now. I mean, we saw him perform with you. Tell me about that. Like, how did that come about, and who is he? And you know, he seems once again to be part of that synergy.
Definitely is. He's a very sweet young man. We were so happy to have him audition when a bass player that we were working with previously couldn't make it. He had a tour to India or something.
Okay.
And so we began to look for another bass player, and God brought us Romeos. He's just amazing.
He's great.
Beautiful.
Romeos. And I noticed too that he doesn't have as much life experience as the other. That's a way of saying he's younger. But he brings a new energy, and I was wondering if that was something that you did intentionally, kind of to bring in that youthful energy, and how that affects you all.
Jazz. He's primarily a jazz musician.
Okay.
He plays everywhere, all over, you know, all over the place.
What happened, the Men on Stage started with the Jazz at Lincoln Center project, where we did a tribute to Abby Lincoln, Nina Simone, Odetta, and Mary McCabe with a jazz trio. Wow. And that's how we got started with the young men. And we were clear we wanted male energy on the stage.
Yeah.
With us. Yeah.
That makes a difference. It does make a difference. The new album, you're using the hashtag, there's some LOLs and IDKs. This is like a new language. This is the young people's language that they use a lot in text messaging, for example. I'm just curious, how important was it to you to incorporate that in, or what was the reasoning behind that? Because I notice sometimes some groups can be a little resistant to change or to embracing the youth or the younger culture, the pop culture?
You have to do that.
I think sometimes we refer to ourselves as the young elders.
Okay.
And I have a 21-year-old son.
I have a 30.
Yes, and we're kind of in with young people, and we, just like in the words of Ella Baker, we embrace young people and their ideas and the culture, and we have to somehow be connected always. We can't remove ourselves and just stay back here. And so that was one way, you know, with the songs and that we've done and the titles of the songs and what we're singing about, to try to make some of those inroads. And we've always done that, at least since I've been in the group. We've always had, you know, rap songs or hip hop or whatever, along with the traditional spirituals and gospel and all of that. So I think we're always trying to, you know, cross that bridge.
And then Sweet Honey's audiences have always been intergenerational.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, people will come and say, I grew up on Sweet Honey, or this is my child, I'm introducing them to Sweet Honey. And
Right.
Right.
Well, I think, too, in addition to being a young elder, you're also a teacher. And I love the song that you have called O Sankofa, which is just that, sort of teaching a history lesson, if you will. So I want you all, if you don't mind, to perform that, and then we'll come back and continue to talk about the new album.
Okay.
Sweet Honey in the Rock.
Thank you.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 1st, 1921. Throughout the streets of Greenwood, the killing had begun. And by the time the day was over, business, churches, schools, and more, Little Africa, our Black Wall Street, was completely destroyed. It was a time of lynching across the USA. Hate for greed in so many hearts resembled life today. We must remember, perhaps forgive, but don't forget, so we will not repeat the past mistakes that we'll regret. Oh, 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 sacrifice. Remember the past. Remember the past. Oh, sacrifice. Learning from the past. Chapter Creek, Cherokee, with African Americans settled here, forced into Tulasi along the tragic trail of tears. Railroads brought new settlers, oil discovered in this place. African Americans began to prosper in this strong economic base. Profits earned stayed within this new community. Wealth was built, business grew, so did hate and jealousy. Many thought that this success was not for those whose skin was black. Made a plan to bring it down with a deadly attack. Whoa, sacrifice. Remember the past. Sacrifice. Learning from the past. So when young Dick Rowland was accused of assaulting Sarah Page, it was used as an opportunity for the terror they would wage. Greenwood bombed from the air, Little Africa burned to the ground. The residents of Black Wall Street were murdered and gunned down. Reports that thousands were killed, thousands displaced, so many injured while mass looting took place. Churches, schools, restaurants, libraries, grocery stores, the hospital, bank, and bus system, all of Greenwood destroyed. Sacrifice. Remember the past.
All right, we're back with Sweet Honey in the Rock inside the VIP room on Soul Lounge. Ladies, I would like to read something to you. I know you're familiar with this because it comes from your website. It is a quote from Harry Belafonte about your group. He says, "I have always believed art is the conscience of the human soul, and that artists have the responsibility not only to show life as it is, but to show life as it should be. Sweet Honey in the Rock has withstood the onslaught. She has been unprovoked by the 30 pieces of silver. Her songs led us to the well of truth that nourishes the will and the courage to stand strong. She is the keeper of the flame." Wow. I thought that was so powerful. And I assume that you all see yourselves that way, but I just am interested from your perspective. What does that mean to be the keeper of the flame?
Crickets.
No.
I'm thinking.
I think it. Go ahead.
I'm thinking. I also must. You know, it is a profound statement, and the only thing that I can come up with from my perspective, I know that we are that, but I hardly ever think about the group in that light. I think about us as just being, you know, everyday, marvelously everyday people who are expressing in a way that we want to bring people along, we want to inspire people, and I think in daily life, those are the kinds of things that you want to do. I'm glad that we do occupy some wonderful legacy in a wonderful place in our culture and in American culture and world culture that our music and our messages do. But for me, it's just really getting up every day and hitting it, hitting it again. And I think those are the kinds of things that keep a legacy going and keep people inspired.
When I think about it, I think, even listening to this recording, how everybody deals with issues that's important to them, or issues that might be important to the group. And then we put them in our music, and then we put them on the stage, and then we have a conversation about it with the audience. And in that light, I could see us being keepers of a flame, because I think different issues resonate with different people in the audience. So that's what keeps it alive. We're speaking into lives of people in the audience, They know this experience, or they have this thought, or they have this same concern, and
Or we bring up something that they never thought about, or they didn't hear, they didn't look at it that way until, they heard that particular song. I saw something somebody wrote like that, like on Facebook or something. They said, I hadn't thought about it that way until I heard you sing that particular song. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. And I think especially now with what is going on in our country, here in the United States, what is going on internationally, that Mr. Belafonte is right, that in a sense artists are the conscious, or they have to be conscientious, responsible in a way. Is that how you feel as well, that artists have a responsibility to speak to a particular perspective? Do you speak to your perspective? Do you think more about the audience?
Wow.
I think,
go ahead.
I think for me, I think artists have to do, what they feel. I think because if you try to do something because I should do this or I should be talking about that, it doesn't really come out the way it should. It has to be something that you feel from inside. And then when you feel that from inside, the music will flow, the lyrics will flow, it'll speak of you, and it will touch someone much more deeply than whether you're trying to just be commercial or need to, speak on an issue through my music.
I also think that the idea of being an artist, I mean, there are people who are recording artists, there are people who are actors, but there are not a whole lot of people are looking at their craft. It's a craft. Look at your craft as I'm, creating art. Some people are creating, really commercial items that are going to appeal, like you said, commercially to a wide range of people and make a lot of money, but they're not really saying anything. Visually, when you look at it, you don't feel anything. You don't have an emotional experience, but I think the artist, as Aisha's saying, really does bring people to something core, something really, it just hits you in your heart, and you know that's true. It's
authentic. You can feel the authenticity.
I think artists have always done that, though.
Yeah, people who are
I know
artists.
this is going on today, but I think it's always happened.
Sure.
Pre-Sweet Honey, pre-Our Birth, or any. I just think that's what artists have done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I love the fact that you're telling those stories, and that's really such a big part of our culture. The griots telling the stories, and to continue to do this, and to have such a powerful group of Black women do it, I think is important, because we don't always get the opportunity.
Right.
That's right.
To tell our stories. So, okay, I only have a few minutes left, and I have a game that I play with everyone who comes inside the Soul Lounge. So it's 3 questions. So I'm not. Don't worry. Don't. Everyone gets nervous. It's real easy. So it's 3 questions. There are 4 of you. So 2 of you can answer the same question, or you can all answer. The first question is: let's say it's it's a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, and you're doing laundry or, going to the grocery store, whatever it is that you're doing in your daily life. What are you playing?
I knew it.
What are you playing? What are you listening to?
I go back and I come forward. So if I'm going back, I'm listening to Marvin Gaye and the OJ.
Okay.
Me
too. Okay.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
If I come forward, I'm probably listening to somebody like Jill Scott. I think she's a beautiful poet and an artist and singer. I just love her sensibility.
Okay. So now it's Saturday night, and you and the one that you love the most are hanging out at home, fire, wine, and all that. What are you listening to then, if anything? Nothing.
I'm hugging myself, telling myself how wonderful I am.
Okay, that's fair enough. Just romantic music that puts you in the mood. Is there anything in particular?
I think for me, I'm just listening to music all day.
Okay.
I just eat it like it's food for me. The whole range of jazz, R&B, African music, Japanese koto. I'm listening to all of that, and it could be, for me, a very, very romantic, as long as it's soothing and it's a healing vibe.
Yeah, nice. Okay, last question. When you're down and you need to be lifted, is there a particular genre or artist or anything that you listen to that lifts you up?
Walter Hawkins.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I think for me it's Earl Klug or Brazilian music, like Elaine Elias, or anyone that has a certain kind of soothing sound.
Salsa music.
Okay.
I do have a salsa playlist.
Okay.
John Coltrane.
All right. Awesome.
And
All
Indian chants.
Indian chants.
I do chant.
Yeah, because you do chant. Okay. All right.
That.
Ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Before we let you go, though, I would love for you to perform another song to take us out. And again, congratulations on the album, and hopefully we'll have you back. I'm sure you'll be around.
Thank you so much.
Take care. All right.
And thank you, everybody watching and listening.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year.
And thank you
Happy
for
Kwanzaa.
spending time with us inside the Soul Lounge. We'll be back. Take care of yourself and each other.
I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Greed is a poison rising in the land. The soul of the people twisted is come down, and it moves like a virus, seeking out everyone. Greed never stops its working. It's not partial to gender or your sexual desire. All it wants is for you to want to own, possess, and to buy. And I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. Yes, I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. Said I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Now greed-driven men created slavery. Black men, women, and children became somebody's property. And now you may not know exactly what I mean. You don't really want to know about your and my greed. Let me tell you now, greed is a strand in the American dream. Having more than we need is the essential thing. And I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. Yes, I've been thinking about
a way to talk about greed. Now you may wonder if you're affected by greed. If you have to ask, then this song you really need. Let me tell you now, greed is sneaky, hard to detect in myself. I see it so clearly in everybody else. Now I see it in you. You can see it in me, and I see it in big corporations all throughout the government. I see it in the military. I see it in the bank. I see it in the church now. It all shows up so clearly. You and your greed. And I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. Yes, I've been thinking about how to talk about greed. Said I've been wondering if I could sing about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. Trying to find a way to talk about greed. I'm trying to find a way. Some baby's crying, we want more. Trying to find a way. Somebody's hungry, we want more. Trying to find a way. Somebody's homeless, we want more. Trying to find a way. I'm trying to find a way to talk about this thing.